Hello, my name is Aaron Jeschke, and here we are a couple of months later, and this is my second senior thesis presentation about creating opportunities in farming. We're going to start with a quick research recap in case anyone watching this has not watched the first presentation or you just need a general refresher. So my problem statement is that there are limited resources accessible for people to get into farming, with my hypothesis being to design a service that provides resources and guidance to those interested in farming. And I wanted to reiterate some of the farming barriers that people that want to get into farming face in their journey to starting to farm. They can sometimes lack access to land, tools, and knowledge that keeps them from really branching out and trying new things if they can't have land to work on, or if they lack a lot of the tools and have to keep going back to the store to get more. Regulations for organic and meat productions make it harder to sell some products as they are under USDA regulations and make it harder to just simply sell them at farmers markets. Lack of mentorshiping, which was something that a lot of the farmers that I talked to for interviews said that was really important in starting to farm, is having someone to mentor you and talk to get advice from. And one of the other big things is HOA prevents some from having extensive productions on their land. Like neighborhoods in the suburbs not wanting you to grow tomatoes in your backyard and such. So why is farming important? It protects and enhances natural resources in the environment, provides the local economy with fresh food and diverse food options, and it sets the foundation for the development of new enterprises and markets by having farms in your local community. Again, here is my persona. This is Rachel. She is the aspiring. She started doing some production agriculture during the pandemic as a new hobby and a new way for her to live her life a little bit differently. She is driven by ownership, sustainability, and creativity, with her goals being to learn new farming skills, live her life differently, and explore creative avenues. While her frustrations are not sure what questions to be asking when it comes to farming, she's stuck trying to find ways to branch out and try new things. There's a lack of space, fund, and opportunity for her to readily take advantage of in her current living situation, and she's not wanting to fail, which creates hesitation in her process. So, what am I designing? Because this was a question that obviously wasn't answered in the last presentation, and I want to get it out of the way now so we can move forward with my understanding of what's going on here. So I am designing a service, it's a space, it's an experience. It's a service offering for those interested in farming. It's a new form of makerspace with emphasis on production agriculture and homesteading skills for the hobbyist. It's an opportunity for users to discover their capabilities through farming, and it's a community of like-minded individuals all growing and learning together. So moving on to analysis. The user they need access. The amenities and materials needed for various production operations will need to be accessible to them. They need guidance, class and mentorship offerings to make education more hands-on for them. They need community, which is probably the most important piece. This is the backbone of agriculture that is detrimental to individual and group success. For stakeholder needs, they need the clientele. They need people subscribed to the service and utilizing the space. They need organization, modularity, and coherent design to operate the space efficiently and so that everyone is happy and working well. And they also need partnerships with local farmers and local businesses to make a more genuine experience. And then here's my strategic framework. I developed EARTH for this. And EARTH stands for Environment, Afford, Resources, Train, and Help. And these are all detrimental elements for it's more of a manifesto for this service design that I am doing. So environment stands for the users will practice sustainable and eco-friendly agricultural practices through the service. They can afford to put the cost and time aside needed to use the service. They will have access to the resources and tools and materials needed to create and succeed. They can train through classes and workshops to learn, and the users will be able to get help through mentoring and through the community that they develop. So moving on to conceptualization, I did 3 brainstorming exercises with groups of different people to get ideas what they thought about this service and what a maker space would look like that's more farm themed. A lot of these people are more familiar with the Idea Foundry that was in Columbus, so we kind of started from there. And then I made this beautiful mind map of all the stuff that we collected from that, and I put it together right here to try to make it have a little bit more coherentness before making it into a morphological matrix. And right here, this is like the recipe menu for me to develop concepts for this makerspace. And then I have several napkin thumbnail sketches that I did going through different aspects of the service, such as the units themselves of for individual use, some of the facility aspects to it, and aesthetic choices, and layouts and facility shapes and sizes. And this is where things kind of take a bit of a divergence. I go into the business model canvas. This is a tool for developing a business. It's very important for service design, and it's made up of these 9 blocks. There's customer segments, which is the target consumers, customer relationships, the connection to each consumer. The channels is how key propositions reach the customer. Key propositions are meeting customer needs. Key activities are the services required. Key resources are the assets required. Partnerships are the outsourced activities and resources. Revenue streams are the capital from key propositions, and cost structure is the total cost from the entire blocks. So there are 3 scenarios. The first one is the makerspace. And through this one, the customer segments are the aspiring farmers, hobbyists, gardeners, and local market consumers. The relationships that are strived for is a sense of community, co-creation, development of business, and customer service assistance, with channels of advertising, partnership, access to facility, and retail outlets like merch and craft. Key propositions, facility offerings like classes, workshops, customization, and optimization. Key activities like classes, production workshops, and mentorships. Key resources, farming tools and machinery, workspace, farming production space, and community. Key partners, there could potentially be collaborations or annexes with COSI, the Columbus Zoo, or other local farms and restaurants. Revenue streams, rental units for farming production, facility amenities, classes, and workshops. And the cost structure, some of the largest areas of cost for this model would be the USDA regulations, the facility itself, the tools and equipment of the facility, and the faculty working here. Scenario 2 is a bit different. This is the farmland model. So with this one, it's not one building in a more urban area. This is more rural based. So the customer segments are very similar. It's the aspiring farmers, hobbyists, curious locals, and local consumers. The curious locals would be those that drive past it because it may or may not be a bit more accessible than the makerspace model. Customer relationships, there's community-led interactions, co-creation, development of business, and customer service. Channels, placement of the farmland campus, delivery services of product and utilities, and on-site retail space. Key propositions, the facility offerings, like classes, workshops, customization, and optimization. Key activities, classes, production, workshops, mentorships, and event venues. And key resources, farming tools and machinery, workspace, farming, production space, and community. Key partners, the potential collaboration or annexation with the COSI, Columbus Zoo, or other local farms, schools, and restaurants, very similar to the previous model. Again, similar with the revenue streams through the production, facility, amenities. Only real big difference is farm shares are a bit more accessible through this model. And then the cost structure is about the same: USDA, tools, equipment, facility, faculty, land. And then scenario 3 is the existing farm. This is very similar to the farmland model, but would potentially have much less offerings. This would just be taking modular units and just attaching them to a pre-existing small farm or farm business, having classrooms and workshop spaces added to them, and then propose the business plan. And then moving on to the value propositions. This is zooming in on the key propositions aspect of the business model canvas, taking 3 different sections from the customer profile and the value map to create the value proposition. So the customer profile has gains, customer jobs, and pains. The value map has gain creators, products and services, and pain relievers. And there are 2 customers through this service. These are very similar to personas. So of course, there's the aspiring here again, who is seeking learning opportunities, tools, and resources in like-minded individuals. And then there's the low consumer, which is shorthand for local consumer, who are driven to support local businesses, consume organic products when available, and know where their food comes from. So the customer profile for the aspiring, their jobs and their goals and aspirations through farming, their willingness to learn new things and become self-sustaining. Their pains are related to the frustrations with finding resources out there for them to use, as well as fears and difficulties. And the gains, they become adept workers, can make a lot of their own rules and plans, and potentially gain status in their community. The value map shows the products and services that give them access to the maker space. The pain relievers are alleviations for the pains of the consumer related to their lack of accessibility and learning, and the gain creators are opportunities to benefit from, highlighting their success and ability to meet gains. Moving on to the low consumer, their jobs reflect their goals for the products they will consume, where and how they do it, the struggles encountered while they shop, and issues they could face from buying local or buying organic products, and its gains about the good feeling and supporting the local community and being food conscious. So products and services, the retail opportunities that satisfy their local shopping tendencies are listed here. The pain relievers encourage them to shop with confidence, with more choices available to them, and the gain creators, benefits expected or excited about supporting this local business, are being shown to them. And moving on to the layouts. These are some basic layouts done in CAD of what the facilities could potentially look like for each model. So for the makerspace, this is a 2-floor system right here with indoor and outdoor units, workshop space, classrooms, retail, storage, all of those amenities. The farmland, very similar, has a facility. As you can see on the left, this is a zoom in of it. It has very similar workshop space, classrooms, retail. And as you zoom out, you can see it has a lot more outdoor amenities, more outdoor units. It's got fields, it's got pastures, so it's got more opportunities for more animal-based operations than the makerspace. And then for the existing farm, these are basically these modular units I was talking about a minute ago. So there's the outdoor classroom, the raised bed unit, and greenhouse unit are some of the early ideations that I have volume models for here. So the next steps are to seek validation, return to the farmers that I interviewed, and get feedback based on the direction I'm going. Solidify focus attention on to one concept to further refine and develop, and then create a business plan and calculating the cost analysis to create a coherent plan to work with this model that I am developing for a makerspace. Thank you.